Hi, everybody. Sunday, May 25th. It's a lovely day outside. I got half my scissor edging done in the backyard yesterday. I'm going to finish it up today, and it gives me something to focus on. Get out there and get my butt in order. Uh, I'm just trying to. I'm just kind of focused at this point about tomorrow because we go in the studio tomorrow with the immediate family to spend a week recording new songs. Now, like I've said before, we finished an album before the pandemic struck that was supposed to be out last November. And needless to say, we put everything on hold just because everybody had to, and there was no way to do any promotion or anything like that during this period. So now our album is coming out on August 27th, but that doesn't mean that the creative process drew to a halt. So we've got lots of new material for another album that we'll probably look at coming out at the early part of next year. No plans exactly yet, but we're going to go in and spend a week, cut what we can, and tweak it all up, and then when there's more material, we'll book another week and go in and do it and finish things up. But it'll be fun just to spend the week just hanging with everybody, with the band and Nico, engineering and stuff. So it'll be great. I'm really excited about that. So I'm kind of like in that zone right now, thinking about tomorrow. Plus, it's a good way to kick off the album project because tomorrow's Waddy's birthday. So we'll all be spanking him and giving him lots of crap. Yeah, it'll be fun, though. It'd be great to spend it with him. I'm just going to do kind of a quick little thing today. Every time I do these things, I've always lived in the world of studio musician. I've been in bands. We had the Section. I was in Barefoot Servants. Different bands throughout my whole career, but none of them ever went to that level where I could really focus on that completely. And I have high hopes with the immediate family, but that doesn't mean my studio life would stop. But in reflecting on it, it was always to me just really. It's a double-edged thing. I think about guys that have been in bands that have been really successful, and they can pretty much just do that band for their life. Pick little projects for they want to do for fun, but their bread and butter is the band, and they ultimately just have to, when they go on the road or something, they learn their band's material. In the world I live in, almost every day when you're working, you're joining a new band, all new material, new people you have to deal with. It's really intense, and there's times where I go, God, it would have been pretty cool to have been in, a band that really just was that, and we could just have always focused on our own stuff. But then on the other hand, I always go, man, I wouldn't have given this up for anything because I really do love the diversity and the adventure of going to work into a world of uncertainty, because so many times you have no idea who you're playing with, who the artist is, stylistically what the music is, who the engineer maybe is, who the producer is. So you're always kind of hanging off the precipice, wondering, well, what's today going to be? And you get there, and my mantra is always kind of like I'm driving my truck to the studio, and I'm just kind of saying to myself, just don't suck, man. Just don't suck. Because you're musicians. Any musician to me who says, I got it down, I got all this stuff, is kind of full of crap. Every musician I know is full of anxiety and hoping they're going to be able to cut it, and they still can't believe people hire them. And no matter where they are on the food chain, everybody's got their own insecurities about what they do, and it really comes out in the world of studio. In a band, you can sort of prepare for what's going on, and there's that air of familiarity every day of being together and knowing the people. It's like being on tour. when we're on tour with Phil Collins, it's like a band. Even though Phil is the marquee, the band it has an identity and a familiarity with each other, so that when you're out there, and it's this beautiful piece of machinery working, but the minute the tour ends, then you're getting calls to go do other things, and all of a sudden, all that really high level of things locked in and stuff, suddenly that disappears, and the next day you're kind of going, I wonder what we're doing today, kind of thing. So I'm just going to throw two things up today, just for the fun of diversity. This is what I've always really enjoyed about things. So the first song I'm going to play is a song I did with Bill Champlin, and we did this back in 1981 on his album Runaway. I've always been a fan of Bill's. I remember one of my favorite shows I ever saw was at the Hullabaloo in Hollywood in 1968. And the headliners were Canned Heat. Before them was Sly and the Family Stone, and opening the show was the Sons of Champlin. And man, they killed it. They were so good, and I immediately became a fan of Bill's. And then all through his time with Chicago, all the different things Bill's done, and I've had the great opportunity to play with him a number of times throughout the years. But this was an album called Runaway, and the song that I wanted to do is called Without You. And this is myself and Jeff Picaro, Steve Lukather, and David Foster on this track. And then I'll play something right after that just goes to show you the other direction of what I do. So here's Without You, Bill Champlin. Check out Jeff's fill at the beginning.
How am I gonna
go, Luke. Jeff Beccaro, Jesus, do I miss him? But so that could be a session one day, or even this could have happened on the same day. But all of a sudden, I have this song, which was myself and Russ Kunkel and Arthur Adams on guitar and Ralph Grierson playing all the keyboards, and the incredible Cindy Fee on vocals doing an Andrew Gold song. And here we go. This is the world of a studio player.
Thank you for being a friend.
First season of Golden Girls.
Back again. Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant. And if you threw a party, invited everyone you knew, you would see the biggest gift would be for me. And the card attached would say, thank you for being a friend. And if you threw a party, invited everyone you knew, you would see the biggest gift would be for me. And the card attached would say, thank you for being a friend.
So that's the diversity of my world. And it runs all the extremes when I think of doing, Ted Knight to Billy Cobham. It's just every once in a while I reflect on what a crazy world living in this side of the business is all about. Most people see bands. They don't see the studio guys. They have the people that have eye recognition, to people through the fact that they're a cohesive group that's been together for a long time, and so you get to know them. But we were very fortunate that when our careers started especially with James Taylor, that our names started appearing on albums where the Wrecking Crew musicians, who were the amazing players of the kind of the generation before we hit, never got album credit for things. So nobody knew who the hell any of these musicians were, that when they were listening to Sinatra and the Tijuana Brass, the Beach Boys, the Mamas and Papas, the Association, you name it. And it was all the same players on all these things. They just went from session to session. But it's fascinating going from session to session and never quite knowing what you're going to be doing. And it could be jingles, it could be movies, it could be television, records, folk, funk, rock, hip hop, classic. You have no idea. So I was just thinking about that. I just thought I'd reflect for a moment on that and just go, it's been a pretty great adventure. I'm going to get to work out there. I want to thank everybody for wishing Marcello and Rossano their happy birthday yesterday. They still got a little cake left. They had some of it this morning, and they'll have the rest of it with their dinner tonight. But they get into it. But it's amazing, watching them eat their cake, and just there's never a growl. There's never anything between them. These brothers are just so bonded. I'm just trying to, monitor them a little bit. Marcello's, I've been calling him Tubby for a little bit here now. I think he was sneaking some of Rossano's food, so we're monitoring meals carefully now. Make sure he doesn't eat his quick and then go over to his little brothers and start scarfing his food down. So thank you for that. And just thanks for coming here. I so appreciate it. I enjoy this so much every day, and it just gives me a lot of pleasure to go back and relive moments and think about all the players and producers and engineers and studios and all of that stuff, that many of which are gone now. There is a sense of loss on a pretty regular basis of pretty remarkable people, and we're still reeling from the passing of the great Al Schmidt. It's really hard to come to grips with that one. He was quite an amazing man. So have a great rest of the weekend. I'm going to get into that. Wednesday will be the live stream, and next Saturday will be the FaceTime and Skypes. And tomorrow morning, off to the studio. I'll do a little studio tour and show you what we're up to, and we'll figure some other goodies out. So take good care. Thank you again. God, I'll be glad when I never have to say thank you. I mean, I'll always be thankful for these people because they worked very hard before the pandemic, but during the pandemic, these frontline workers, especially people in the medical field or anybody that's had to expose themselves to the potential of getting sick from this just terrible illness, thank you. You really are heroic people. So let's keep our fingers crossed that things keep getting better. And again, like I said on the last one, this isn't localized. This is global. So areas might be doing really well and we get kind of cocky about it, but there's other areas of the world where people are suffering terribly that haven't had the good fortune to get the vaccines yet, things like that, or have the infrastructure to help. And it's really important to give those people thought that are working there, because they're working under incredibly difficult situations and people are suffering under terrible situations. So, okay. I will see you tomorrow, start of a new week. Okay, bye-bye.